Welcome, racing fans, to the glorious, twisty amphitheatre of the Hungaroring. The tension is palpable. Ferring Dana's snatched pole in the number 21 Renault, while Hamburg lines up second, but the paddock is currently buzzing with an utterly bizarre crisis. Daniel Bourne, starting down in 8th in the number 7 BMW, is absolutely frantic. He has apparently forgotten his famously ridiculous lucky inflatable Flamingo at the hotel. Let us see if he can survive without his pink plastic co-pilot today.
You can literally see the panic in his helmet, Martin. Superstition is a powerful thing in motorsport. If your mind is on a missing pool toy, it certainly isn't hitting the apex at turn 1.
The revs are building. Dana's and Hamburg lead them away. Down the field, Vamos is 5th in the Honda, looking menacing. The lights are illuminating the clutch bites. Brace yourselves, folks.
Green, green, green. We are racing at the Hungaroring, and it is an explosive start.
Bourne instantly launches past Darmagoat for 7th. A brilliantly aggressive move right there.
He is charging. Bourne has a look at Jimenez Moya, but Raul defensively covers.
Jimenez Moya brilliantly slams the door right shut.
Yellow flags. Valerio Speed opportunistically slips past everyone.
Bourne is making contact. He is bashing through.
Rickard Olsen commits down the inside, taking 8th place away from a distracted Bourne.
Bourne fiercely fights right back. They are side by side now.
Absolute chaos at turn 2. Jose Perez dives through and Luke Potter demotes Bourne to 9th.
It is totally unraveling for the superstitious BMW driver. Joe Pereira forcefully invites himself past Daniel Bourne for 10th at turn 3. He is completely falling backwards through the pack.
You just cannot make this up. We have official confirmation that Daniel left Fernando the Flamingo in his hotel room. That explains the extreme lockups and absolute lack of spatial awareness.
He is mentally stranded without that absurd pink bird. You can see him visibly rattling around the cockpit. He is missing apexes because he is missing his inflatable best friend, Ant.
Exactly, Martin. Those early incident points we just saw are a clear indicator of a massive brain fade. He is driving entirely on sheer frustration rather than calculating his lines. You absolutely need your head completely in the game here, not agonizing over some deflating piece of bright neon plastic.
Look at this, Luke Potter goes side by side with Rickard Olsen for 7th.
Potter throws a very optimistic dummy, but Olsen aggressively covers off.
Potter is practically knocking on his rear bumper, desperately begging for a way past, but Rickard Olsen is having absolutely none of it. He firmly slams the door shut and superbly retains 7th place in that brilliant Renault Laguna. It is spectacular, proper old school biff and bash touring car racing we are seeing out there today.
Bourne staggers across the line to start lap 2, clocking a painfully slow time.
Schmeinem Kibidi is attacking Bourne.
Kibidi beautifully completes the move for 11th place.
Bourne tucks right into the slipstream of Kibidi.
Kibidi now goes side by side with Perez. Schmeinem Kibidi is utilizing the hybrid deployment brilliantly here, launching an attack on Jose Perez, but Perez uses all of his veteran dark arts to aggressively pinch the inside line shut.
Oh, Kibidi spectacularly forces his way into 9th at turn 2, but Perez refuses to yield. They are furiously side by side once again.
Kibidi has emerged victorious and now sits just under 2/10 behind Luke Potter in the Super Touring class.
Olsen tries a sneaky lunge, but Kibidi furiously defends his position.
Kibidi takes the slipstream perfectly.
Kibidi dives boldly down the inside at turn 5. He completely outbrakes Rickard Olsen to spectacularly snatch 9th place. What a beautifully aggressive maneuver. Olsen basically left the front door wide open and invited him straight into the living room. You simply cannot leave a glaring gap like that in Super Touring, or someone will definitely take it every single time. And
Olsen is desperately trying to recover, launching a late move on Perez, but Jose smartly blocks the trajectory.
Perez firmly shuts the door at turn 11. He keeps 10th position with absolute sheer stubbornness. Olsen is practically fuming inside that cockpit. He threw everything at that corner, but Perez simply anchored his heavy car right there.
Bourne tucks into Olsen's draft.
Yellow flags waving out there.
Bourne cleverly capitalizes through turn 15, grabbing 10th from Olsen and Perez, just as the track miraculously returns to green flag conditions. Olsen retires into the pits.
Kibidi is aggressively swarming all over the back of Luke Potter, but Potter defensively positions his wide car beautifully.
Potter is now the one trailing, hovering just a quarter second behind Schmeinem Kibidi.
Side by side they go.
Potter looks inside, but Kibidi fiercely fights back.
Kibidi simply slams the heavy door shut right in Potter's face. He successfully retains 8th place in the incredible Super Touring class. That was a brilliantly aggressive defense from the charging driver.
While Bourne valiantly fights on the track, we are hearing reports that a terrified team intern is currently breaking several local speed limits. They are desperately rushing back from the hotel with that utterly crucial pink inflatable Flamingo.
Meanwhile, further down the pack, Fulvio Dalto is absolutely hounding the back bumper of Zigor Choman. The gap is just over 0.3 of a second for 17th place. Dalto is completely filling up Choman's mirrors in that Alfa Romeo.
Dalto neatly executes the overtake.
Oh, and Jose Perez immediately follows him straight through. He boldly punishes Zigor Choman, ruthlessly demoting him another spot down into 17th position. That Opel Vectra just seen completely glued to the tarmac through there. It is an absolute dogfight in the midfield right now, and nobody is willing to give up a single inch of racing room to their bitter rivals.
Choman applies pressure.
Choman strikes right back. He dives spectacularly down the inside of turn 10 and aggressively steals 17th place away from Jose Perez. They are running completely side by side through this incredibly narrow section. It is proper elbows out driving, and Perez is definitely not going to take that cheeky little maneuver line down here today, Anthony.
They are fiercely fighting, running side by side again as Perez attempts to break Choman's defense.
Meanwhile, Joe Pereira is absolutely hunting down Athami Kalawag for a crucial 7th place.
Pereira decisively takes 6th position.
Yellow flags, they make contact.
Pereira crashes, Kibidi slips past. Returning to our bizarre unfolding crisis, Team Radio intercepts loudly confirm that Daniel Bourne is frantically asking his race engineer about Fernando, the Flamingo, on every single lap around this challenging circuit.
It is completely distracting him. He is entirely losing focus on his braking zones because he is so deeply emotionally compromised by a missing brightly coloured piece of cheap inflatable rubber. And
well, I have disastrous news, Martin. The poor intern is apparently stuck in horrific Hungaroring traffic outside the circuit. Fernando the Flamingo is severely delayed and Bourne's lap times are continuously plummeting.
his extremely stressed race engineer is literally pleading over the radio, begging him to please focus on the asphalt in front of him instead of this completely imaginary missing aquatic pool bird.
Yet Bourne fiercely argues back, claiming the car's aerodynamic balance feels completely wrong without its spiritual co-pilot. I have engineered many tricky setups, but adjusting downforce for a missing ghost Flamingo is definitely entirely unprecedented.
Dharma Goat takes full advantage, brutally demoting the totally distracted Daniel Bourne into 11th place there.
Bourne now trails Dharma Goat by 0.3 of a second in the Super Touring class. His entire racing rhythm is completely shattered without his bizarre lucky charm sitting comfortably inside that team garage.
Bourne stumbles across the timing line to begin lap 6. The lap times are woeful. His driving is unbelievably erratic, and his entire championship campaign is currently crumbling over a plastic toy.
Wait a second, Martin. Look down there. There is a massive commotion erupting in the pit lane. A breathless mechanic is frantically sprinting towards the BMW garage like an absolute athletic madman.
Good heavens, they actually have the Flamingo. The heroic intern has miraculously made it straight through the paddock gates. The legendary Fernando has finally arrived to save the day for Daniel Bourne.
Meanwhile, on track, Kibidi is relentlessly stalking Jimenez Moya for 6th place, trailing by just under 0.4 of a second, as the tension absolutely skyrockets across the entire racing field today.
You literally cannot write this script. The pit crew have officially strapped the bright pink Flamingo directly onto their pit wall timing stand. Fernando is proudly standing guard, watching his completely superstitious driver roar past the start line.
Elsewhere, Fulvio Dalto boldly commits to an overtake at turn 5, smoothly snatching 14th position from Il Ciambotto. That was a perfectly executed inside line maneuver from the confident Alfa Romeo driver.
We just intercepted Bourne's team radio. The engineer deadpans. Fernando is on the wall, copy. I have truly never witnessed such utterly incredible scenes in all my years of motorsport commentary.
You can almost see the profound relief instantly translating into Bourne's driving technique. His previously jagged racing lines are noticeably smoothing out, and his braking points look infinitely more precise now, Martin.
The raw power of sporting superstition is incredibly real, folks. A cheap deflating plastic aquatic bird has literally just miraculously cured a professional racing driver's mysterious car handling issues here mid-race.
Dane still dominates this race, while Kibidi ruthlessly closes the gap to Jimenez Moya for 5th place overall.
Kibidi fiercely launches an attack on Jimenez Moya. They rub paint aggressively, but Kibidi brilliantly muscles his way into 5th position at turn 1. What a perfectly calculated, muscular overtaking maneuver there.
Meanwhile, Bourne is confidently setting up for the crucial final stages of this event. He looks completely re-energized by this ridiculous psychological boost, extracting maximum performance from that powerful BMW engine.
He has the bit firmly between his teeth. Bourne is absolutely pushing his car to the extreme absolute limit, desperately trying to catch back up to Dharma Goat and reclaim his rightful spot inside the highly coveted top 10. Fernando is extremely proud.
Dharma Goat is currently completely preoccupied with a tense battle of his own, trailing Athami Kalawag by just 3/10 for 9th place, making him potentially vulnerable to a late charge.
I must ask, Anthony, who in their right mind would have ever thought that a forgotten, cheap inflatable pool toy could completely dictate the entire tactical strategy of a motor race today?
It simply highlights how elite motorsport is just as much deeply psychological as it is purely mechanical. Daniel Bourne fundamentally proves that highly fascinating theory on the circuit here today, Martin.
You can absolutely guarantee that the thoroughly exhausted team manager is definitely adding check hotel room for neon pink Flamingo directly onto his extremely critical pre-race technical checklist from now on.
He is aggressively battling Cao Swiss now, showcasing absolute and total driving confidence out there with his highly cherished lucky talisman securely positioned nearby on the team pit wall.
Cao Swiss is absolutely refusing to let go though. He is hovering a mere 0.2 of a second right behind a suddenly rejuvenated Daniel Bourne. They are fiercely contesting 12th position as we rapidly approach the thrilling climax of this fantastic race.
Swiss attempts a late lunge, but Bourne fiercely fights back, confidently defending his position to successfully begin lap 8 of this race.
They plunge side by side for 11th place.
Bourne catches the slipstream down the straight and executes a brutally efficient overtake on Cao Swiss right at turn 1 for 11th.
Swiss desperately tries an immediate counter-attack, but our Flamingo-powered driver aggressively shuts him down.
Bourne brilliantly parks his car right on the apex at turn 2, firmly making the defensive move stick. His precise car placement has vastly improved since his spiritual mechanic arrived on the pit wall today.
Swiss is relentlessly swarming all over his rear bumper. He aggressively attempts another pass, but Bourne fiercely swats him away once again.
Bourne impressively maintains 11th place in the Super Touring category. He is deploying his hybrid energy with clinical perfection to defend against the charging Swiss, demonstrating absolutely spectacular defensive racecraft today.
Bourne is truly driving an incredibly brilliant defensive race against Swiss right now. It is an absolute masterclass in wide car positioning and sheer stubbornness from the highly resilient BMW driver.
I am absolutely certain that Fernando, the Flamingo, must be incredibly proud watching this spectacular defensive driving clinic from his privileged vantage point on the pit wall.
The checkered flag waves. Fernando completely dominates to take an absolutely magnificent victory here at the Hungaroring. What a thoroughly stellar, flawless drive from the very front to securely clinch the prestigious top step of the podium here today.
Daniel Bourne valiantly brings his car home in 11th position after enduring a truly bizarre psychological roller coaster out there today. That recovery drive was entirely fueled by pure, unadulterated sporting superstition alone.
That terrified racing intern definitely deserves an immediate massive salary raise tomorrow, or at the very least a beautifully autographed pink inflatable Flamingo presented personally by a deeply grateful Daniel Bourne.
Track conditions are fully clear. Daniel Bourne has successfully finished the race in 11th.